Ever feel like the universe has like a sick sense of humor? It sets you up with this like picture perfect life and then just rips it all away.
Yeah.
That's Pet Sematary, Brian.
Yeah.
That's the book we're diving into.
It's bleak, man.
It's bleak, and it's gotten amazing reviews. We're talking Cleveland Plain Dealer, L.A. Times, USA Today, Washington Post, Esquire, Entertainment Weekly. Everybody's praising it.
Mm.
Even Lee Child called Stephen King America's greatest living novelist.
Wow.
So this book, Pet Sematary, it's not just horror, though. It really gets into um, grief, like the darkest corners of it, and like the choices that we make when we're faced with things that we never thought we would have to deal with.
And it's scary because, I mean, it starts out like you meet the Creeds. You meet Louis. He's the dad. He's a doctor. He's
Right.
dealing with life and death every day. Rachel's the mom. She's trying to make a home. Then they have the two kids, Ellie and Gage, and they move into this old New England colonial, and it's like, big lawn, idyllic setting. They should have their happily ever after.
It really does. It kind of like sucks you in, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get very comfortable, and that just makes it even more awful when things go bad.
Yeah.
So then we got Jud Crandall, the neighbor. He seems like a good guy at first.
Yeah.
He's got that like down east accent.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's a very important character.
Oh, yeah.
He really is. It's interesting, though, how King uses those little ordinary interactions to kind of give you a hint at like the bad things that are coming. Like when he removed the bee stinger from Gage's neck.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
Little things like that.
Totally. It's like the saying, no good deed, right?
Right?
Like his kindness is almost like, uh-oh, this is not good.
Exactly. Exactly. Like all those warnings about the road, being dangerous for pets and kids. It's like once things start happening, you're like, should have listened.
Yeah, you're like, wait a second.
Yeah. Then there's that creepy path in the woods by their house.
That leads to the pet cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this is where all the kids in the town, that's their first experience with like death.
Right.
It's like how King describes it, like those rows of like grave markers and the atmosphere. It's really creepy.
Yeah, and Ellie, the daughter, she asks those big questions, right? Like about aging and dying and her cat church. And they're heartbreaking, but it's like, we all think it.
It's true. It's true. And Louis, even though he's a doctor, he sees this all the time, but he can't even talk to his daughter about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
It's almost like he wants to protect her so much that he can't deal with it.
He's in denial.
Yeah.
Total denial.
Yeah. And that's where the horror starts.
Totally. Yeah. Like it's not ghosts or monsters, you know what I mean? It's us. It's what we do to ourselves.
Yeah.
Those bad choices we make when we can't deal with loss.
It's true. It's true. And then Church gets hit by a truck on that road.
Of course.
It's awful.
Yeah, it's just awful. And Rachel and Ellie, I mean, you really feel it. You feel their grief. And then Louis is just desperate.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to take it all away.
Of course, of course.
And that's when Jud tells him about the Micmac burial ground.
Uh-oh.
This mysterious place that can bring things back.
Right. I mean, that's where everything changes. Louis, this doctor, this man of science, is like, oh, okay, I'll look into that.
Right, right. And the way they describe, like, going into the woods, it's like the air changes.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a mist. It's oppressive. And remember that loon?
Yeah, yeah.
Even Jud was freaked out.
Yeah. And the burial ground, forget about it. King's descriptions, it's like desolate, otherworldly. This place has power. And Jud, he's telling Louis, listen, this place is dangerous. It can bring things back, but...
But...
yeah, but he won't say what happened to him. Like, what did he bring back?
Yeah, why won't he say anything? It's like, something bad happened, but he won't say.
Yeah.
And it makes it that much worse. Like, it makes the anticipation so much worse.
Yeah, it keeps you guessing.
Totally. And we know this is just the beginning. Things are about to get much worse for these people. And just when you think, like, it can't get any worse. It's like, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Right.
Like, they're finally, they're trying to put their lives back together, and bam, Gage is hit by a truck on that same road.
Oh, it's awful. It's like King just doesn't hold back,
Oh, he doesn't.
Like he shoves that grief right in your face, and it's awful. Like Louis just completely falls apart.
It's true. He can't even function.
Mm.
And poor Rachel, you feel her pain. And then little Ellie trying to be strong, trying to keep Gage's memory alive. It's just...
heartbreaking.
It's really hard to read.
Yeah.
But in a way, it makes you keep reading,
It does, yeah. And this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Because you've got Louis, the doctor, who understands death in a clinical way, but inside, he's just shattered. And that's what makes him go back to the burial ground.
Yeah, you're right. It's like he's got this professional front, but his grief is just eating him alive. He knows it's a bad idea, but he can't help himself.
He's desperate, you know? And that story that Judd tells about Timmy Baterman, it's like a warning.
Oh, yeah, that story. The resurrected soldier who comes back.
Exactly. And Judd's scared. He even thinks the burial ground used him, that it set the whole thing up with Gage.
That's messed up. So it's not just a place, right? It's like this force, this evil thing that's choosing its victims.
Yeah, and it's playing on their grief, their love. And Rachel, even she's starting to feel it. Like something's not right.
But it's too late, isn't it? I mean, Louis convinced this time it'll be different. This time he can fix it.
That's the thing about denial, right? It
Yeah.
makes you believe the impossible. And we know, we've seen the signs, this isn't going to end well.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And don't forget, the moon is full.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Jed even said the power of that place, it's strongest then.
Yeah.
And that's when Louis decides to do it, to bring Gage back. But what's he bringing back, really?
That's the question, isn't it? Because death, it changes things. And what comes back from that burial ground, it's not the same.
And this is where Pet Sematary, like, stops being about grief, you know?
Good night.
And it just becomes a straight-up nightmare.
Yeah.
Because what comes out of that grave, that ain't Gage.
Nope.
No. It looks like him. It sounds like him. But
Like it's aware.
yeah, like it's aware, but it's wrong. And Rachel, she comes back too, but she's not Rachel anymore either.
It's like the burial ground took everything that they were, all their pain and fear, and just twisted it.
It really makes you wonder, like, what's scarier, dying or coming back like that?
That's what King's so good at, right? Making you think about these big questions. Like, is there something worse than death? Would you even want to come back if it meant coming back? Wrong.
And the ending, Louis is he's lost everything. And he's just sitting there in his grief, and he decides he's going to bury Rachel in the burial ground.
Oh, no, it's going to happen again.
Yeah. Like, it's this awful cycle, this loop of love and loss and something even worse.
It's like there's no happy ending in Pet Sematary. You close the book and you're left with this awful feeling like it's not really over.
It's true. And it sticks with you, you know? Makes you think about what you would do. Could you resist that pull, that promise of getting someone back, even if you knew?
Even if you knew they wouldn't be the same. King's not just writing about monsters, he's writing about us.
Yeah.
About the darkness inside everyone and how easily it can take over.
Yeah, like we all have that potential. It's just some of us are tested more than others. That's Pet Sematary.
That's Stephen King, man.
That's Stephen King. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been, well, I don't know if fun is the right word.
Intense.
Yeah, intense. Intense is a good word for it.
Yeah, until next time.
Until next time. And remember, sometimes dead is better.